I'm just. This is like a public service question, I guess. Do you Negroes feel bad that you are very reactionary, no self-restraint, no regard for other human life, pretty dumb, probably 10 points lower IQ than white people, plus you have that sub-Saharan gene which makes you a jungle bunny?
Hey, Brian Colin, you have so many aliases, but do you mind if I just call you Brian? You say Negroes have no self-restraint, no regard for human life. Let me ask you a quick question. Your son has a few battery charges. Does that make him a Negro? Felony domestic violence charge? No regard for human life. I guess that makes him a jungle bunny. Huh, Brian? Brian, if you had been half the father as you are a racist, maybe your son wouldn't be strung out right now trying to deal with his demons.
Being racist is proof of a low IQ, and we need to start treating it as such.
I mean, this racist white man came on camera confidently claimed that black people are naturally less intelligent. I mean, he expected people to applaud him for saying that. He expected people to be like, they will laugh like, oh, you are right, all those things. But instead, his own words sparked outrage, damaged his reputation, and left him facing consequences he never imagined. Yeah, that's why it is always said that racism is always, expensive. It can cost you a job. It can cost you so many things. Now, the real question is, where does this level of hatred even come from? Because there's no way you can just wake up and say black people have low IQ. I mean, what exactly are you trying to mean? What have black people done wrong to you to deserve being constantly targeted with stereotypes, that racist messages and false narratives? History has shown us that when people allow prejudice to control their thinking, they don't just hurt the people they attack. They eventually destroy their own credibility. It's like it backfires. They end up, damaging their own reputation, okay? Even their own character. I mean, racism has never been built on facts. It has always, depended on, misinformation, fear, division, because it doesn't make sense. What he's saying is not true. So in today's video, we are going to break down these claims, examine the facts, and respond to these arguments, because that's not true. Black people are not, don't have a low IQ. Okay, but before we get into it, please don't forget to share whatever you have in the comment section. Otherwise, let's dive into this to examine what exactly are black people saying and other white people in trying to respond to this false narrative.
The NFL's concussion settlement assumed that black players started with lower brain function than white players. And that almost sounds like a fake headline, but it's a real thing. It's called race norming. You should look it up. And it's real. And basically, if black players and white players took the same brain test, they got the same score on that brain test, the black player could look less damaged on paper because the formula assumed that they started lower to begin with. And 70% of NFL players are black. The awards they were denied averaged $500,000 each. So, and nobody knew about this. It took two former players, Kevin Henry and Nigg Davenport. They had to file a civil rights lawsuit to expose it. And, then when the formula got changed, it was over 600 former black players. They had their tests rescored, and nearly half of them qualified for dementia awards. So obviously their brains aren't different. The formula changed, and that's just like a part of the system. So, I bring this up because for my athletes and for the parents, I just want you guys to understand that any system that you're a part of as an athlete, or any system that you're a part of that is making money on your labor, they're going to be incentivized to treat you as the product. And what do companies do when the products are broken? Right? Exactly. I love sports. I love football. I play football at a high level. So I would never tell you not to, pursue your opportunity to play. But, never assume that opportunity means that you're going to be protected.
Being racist is proof of a low IQ, and we need to start treating it as such. There is no reason in the year 2025 we let people sit in our face and be like, yeah, you're better than me because of the color of your skin. Truly, Truly. Like, why do we even still have these conversations? I don't even understand why we give people platforms and allow them to speak about these things, because it's like we're going in circles and circles and circles about something that fundamentally does not matter, that they've made us they've made matter in order to divide us. And so many of these people are either brainwashed or so fucking hateful and unempathetic that they genuinely believe that race is the end all be all. Like, I would love to have racists in my comments right now. Tell me what valid reasons you have for thinking that you are better than any other race because you're white, or because you're any other race. Like, I believe this goes with every race who believes that they're above any minority. But at the end of the day, in America at least, white people made this country. The rules were built for them, by them. So we can acknowledge that systematic racism is real. And we need to stop acting like these racists are just not fucking stupid. Like, why do you think, like, fundamentally it's not logical in the slightest?
People like to throw around the fact that black people score on average 10 points lower on IQ tests to support their racist ideologies. We have to understand that this is not inherited at all, because this gap starts around age 4, right before schooling starts. Due to prior racism and segregation, blacks are poorer on average, which means they don't get cared for as well, and their schooling is worse. When these factors are accounted for, there's pretty much no difference in race and IQ scores. Meaning your race does not affect your IQ, your environment does.
At this point, I don't care what the pretendians think they are. They could tell me they were a dog or an alien from space, and I'm going to just say, okay. What I hate the most is that the pretendians are so loud and wrong online, and it makes people think all black Americans are dumb or we lack logic.
So you mean to tell me Europeans go to Europe, Germans go to Germany, Caucasians go to the Caucasus Mountains, every nationality ties to a landmass?
Germany is a country within Europe, and the Caucasus Mountains are a region that people who are Caucasian stem from, not a country. But continue.
Jamaicans go to Jamaica. Hondurans go to Honduras. Africans don't even say they're African. They say Kenyan, Nigerian, Zimbabwean, wherever they from, you feel me?
Jamaica, Honduras, and Puerto Rico are made up countries in the Americas, just like the United States of America. Do you know who are the people that exist within Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and Honduras? The native Taino Indians, Arawak Indians, Carib Indians, Africans who are descendants of formerly enslaved Africans, and Europeans. The same exact makeup of people who are in America. And we are called Black American because we are American.
Now that we've eliminated pretty much everybody, who is from America? I need to know who is from America. Now they got this one nationality that got their name changed like 4 or 5 times, from Negro, colored, African American, black, and nobody stopped to question why none of these names tied to a landmass. Can someone please point out on the map, where is Negro kin? Where is colored kin? Where is Africa America? Where is black kin? And we just keep letting this happen. Who are the true Americans?
So in the same vein that you're trying to prove a conspiracy theory that we are Native American, you are ignoring the fact that the Native Americans, the indigenous people of the Americas, exist and are still alive today. And furthermore, the descendants of those formerly enslaved people, us, are factually American because we were forcibly brought here and we are the foundation of this nation. You can give Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, and Honduras and think that their people are from there, but they exist the same way we do. Do you see how the logic is fucking crazy to me? But he keeps going.
All the people that look like me, we got our names changed like 50,000 times, and nobody ever said, nobody keep giving us names that don't even tie to a landmass. Who are the true Americans? Do not say the Indians. Indians go to India. If the Indians was here, India would want something to do with that because Indians tied to India. You feel me? So if the Indians was here first, this place would have been called India. So they probably changed the name of this place too, if you see the patterns that's going on. So who's from America?
The premise of your video is just so flawed. Black is not a nationality. Okay? Black is our ethnic group, and it's a race. We are American. America is a made-up country in the continent of North America, which I'm sure the natives and indigenous people never called America. The name America comes from the explorers that came from Europe, and then they named the continents after him. I was having a discussion with my friends yesterday about how dumb people can be, and like how comprehension and literacy are really off, and how people take ideas and they don't really understand what they're saying or digesting. And it's hard for me to fathom that someone could be this dumb and this loud and so sure of himself while contradicting himself within the same breath, or just like not knowing what he's talking about. And there are thousands of comments of people agreeing with him. There's no Blackistan or Colorstan. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are we being for real right now, guys? Pretendians really do me in. They really do me in, bro. Delineation movements, the Pretendian, the FBA, and ADOS movements are growing rapidly online, and it's because people are fucking dumb. You don't know the history of how all these countries were created, so you're saying that the people from Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and Honduras, I don't know why those three particular ones, even though there's more, that they are really Jamaican. Like, what makes a Jamaican Jamaican to you? What makes a Honduran Honduran to you that wouldn't make a Black American a Black American to you? Do you know why Black is a thing here? Because we're one of the few countries where we're a minority, a true minority. The countries in the Caribbean are majority Black places. The United States of America and Brazil have the most descendants of slaves. And in both countries, there are names for Black people in both countries. Just because you're not aware of it doesn't make us any less American more than it makes them any less Brazilian. Oh man, it's happy Sunday.
There's a difference on the average between blacks and whites on IQ tests. I would say the difference is it's genetic.
We about to fact check this. First, if you mess with me, make sure you hit that follow button. Let's get it. What the hell is he talking about? First, Black people are not genetically less intelligent compared to white people. And the data that was in those videos literally proves that it's not genetics. In the first graph, the video decides to show what's an IQ score between Blacks and whites in the 1960s. You know, the 1960s, where segregation still existed? I mean, the Supreme Court literally ruled that Black schools were not receiving the same education as white schools. This is why during the desegregation of schools, you didn't see white students going to Black schools, because they didn't have the same resources. The second piece of data that they showed wasn't even an IQ test. It was literally just 11 science-based questions that was given to random people, which is completely different with an IQ test, which focuses on cognitive ability and problem solving. You can also take the test. I got 8 out of 11. Third piece of data that was shown literally proves that Black people are not less intelligent genetically. I mean, the graph shows that Black kids that are adopted by white families actually do better in IQ tests, meaning their genetics didn't change, their environment changed. And study shows that Black families, even a 2-parent household, is gonna have less resources than a white family. And the final graph was the bell curve graph that showed the difference between Black IQs and white IQs. In fact, you're able to find that graph in a book called The Bell Curve, a book that has been highly criticized, and another book had to come out says The Bell Curve Debate. I mean, the book literally says that the public cannot fix the IQ. But again, the last graph shows that if you change the environment, that the individual's IQ will increase. In other words, Black people are not genetically less intelligent.
So what you guys have to understand is that, welcome, this is white supremacy. It's irrational. It's not sensible. And unfortunately, Candace Owens is not qualified to debunk him, which would be, frankly, quite easy to do. But welcome, this is white supremacy. No facts needed, no truth needed.
Development and investment and things like that. But, you know, again, when you look at the antecedents of all these, you know, the history didn't start, like you said, with World War II in the 20th century. There's a reason that European civilization created this enormous gap between them and everybody else. And I don't think it was that it was white supremacy or it was unfair or something like that. I think it's because Europeans are smarter. I think that on average, Europeans
So to
are
use
smarter.
your argument against you, that could be said about Ashkenazis. So if you're sitting here saying, I believe in some conspiracy and that it's a coordinated effort and blah, 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 they could look at you and say, that's a leftist argument. We're just smarter.
Shout out to ABCD writes, what country exactly? I'm not sure if you're talking about what country am I in, but I actually have found that we have a lot of fans around the world, really. But in this country in particular, you know, I got out of the elevator, you guys like Peace of the Saints, and I ran a mile and stopped to shadow box. 5 guys walk up like, hey man, we follow this. So I don't want to say what country I'm in because I don't want to be have the nature of my experience here changed? You know, I'm more so staying low key, so I'm not going to say which country I am in. May I acknowledge chemical rights? A few old buildings in Africa, the Getty ruins, Great Zimbabwe, ruins of Axum, thank you, Kilwa, Kisiwani, Tethers. This comment is another example of FBA protecting protecting Africa's history. There you go.
I think they are smart.
They are
smarter.
I think they're
the
smartest.
White as a team. People get that way. The Talmud is. The education wars in the high school standardized tests are almost all Asians in math and science. Asians aren't overrepresented in power. It's Jewish people. So Jewish people are not, proportionally as more intelligent as they are more overrepresented. And that goes to their real superpower, which is they're an organized minority. An organized minority will be the disorganized majority. As far as
That's funny. I'm pretty sure that Nick Fuentes follows the ism. He absolutely does follow the ism. That's actually a quotation from Vladimir Ilyich Plekhanov Lenin. I don't think he knows that because he's heard me say it, but curious. And that is a fact. He's correct in that. It's one of the few correct things he said tonight.
As Africa is concerned, they didn't have the wheel. We got there, they didn't have the wheel. And it's unfortunate. It's not anything that
It's wild that Candace is not able to reply to this.
people are happy about.
Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman.
Just so we're all on the same page, she is talking about that white woman who's about to become a millionaire for calling a black 5-year-old boy the N-word. She is talking about a white woman who used a racial slur against a little black boy, and she is saying the reason why people are praising her is because they're sick and tired of black people's ghetto-ness and complaining and being perpetual victims. She's saying, oh my God, so what? We have done horrendous, heinous things to you and your ancestors for centuries. So what? So fucking what? Stop bitching about the lynchings and the racism and slavery and Jim Crow and oh my God, like let it go. You ghetto fucking hood rats. Like, so what if we're like racist to you? We're not as racist to you as we used to be. Like, we really could be treating you like shit. And here you are fucking complaining. Like the ghetto hood rats you are. I just wanted to translate in case no one understood what she said.
Welcome back. Now, let's talk about this. You see, after watching whatever these people had to say, there's one thing which is very clear. Claims that black people are naturally less intelligent, have low IQ, have been debated for decades, but they have never justified, treating an entire group of people as inferior. Now, the first point many people continue to raise is that environment matters. I mean, when communities face unequal schools, fewer opportunities, discrimination, and generations of economic barriers, those conditions can affect education, outcomes. That completely, is different from saying the entire race is born with less intelligent. History can contribute to that. By the way, it doesn't make sense you are taking few people from black community and test them IQ, and you are choosing those people you think can qualify within the white community and let them compete. Here's the thing. Within black people, there are people with a low IQ and those with a high IQ. Within white community, there are those with high IQ and those with low IQ. I think that's the better way to say it. That's the best way to put it. Okay, so there's no way you can take those people who have highest IQ within white community and let them compete with those you think you have the lowest, and then you put them just to represent the entire community. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Now, the second point is just as important as the first one. Now, let's look at history. Black men and women have excelled in science, in medicine, engineering, business, sports, the military, and every other profession we can think of. Those achievements don't support the idea that race determines, intelligence. I mean, if black people have excelled this much after they have been discriminated, after the system failed to make them fail, but they are not failing, I mean, how can we call them like less intelligent? How can we call them like they're just dull? That shows that what people can accomplish really means about their brain. So when talent meets opportunity, that's what we can say. Black people are not less intelligent as these white people claim. But here's like the bigger lesson that we need to have before we leave. Racism has always relied on stereotypes, not on judging people as individuals. Just because you look at them as black, just because you see them they're excelling in life, they're doing better than you just come to not conclusions, but just stereotypical conclusions, stupid conclusion. And once those stereotypes are repeated often enough, some people begin to mistake them as facts. When something is kept being said, people easily believe as the established fact, but no, it's not. That's why it's important to question body claims, examine the evidence, and think critically instead of accepting divisive narratives like this, like black people have low IQ. What? Have you tested all black people? And when you say white people have high IQ, have you tested all white people? There are white people who are dull, just like there are also black people who can be dull. Why? It's just because we're just people. Okay, the failures that can be found in black people are the same failures that can also be found in the white community. When we say white people are inventing these iPhone 17, they're like these companies, should we mean that all white people can produce a phone? We don't mean that. Even when it comes to mathematics, should we say all white people can do better in mathematics? There are some white people that cannot manage, to have mathematics. And at the end of the day, every person should be judged by their character, their actions, and their ability, not by the skin color, like how they look. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.